So we've got ourselves another week of SBCs, and we've definitely had some very good ones this time round. We've also had a few that you probably just want to miss away from. Now, the first and foremost, we'll just go with the player of the month. So I think they're an easy one to go with now, especially we've got very little time really, and it will go quite quickly with a lot of them. So let's jump straight into them. We have Mbappe, we have Lueni, don't know if I'm saying that right. We've obviously got Pulisic, Haaland, Kane, and Tauvin. Some very decent shouts going on here. Obviously, we are in the mix of all of them. I think we've had every single one. I don't think there's any like WSL or anything like that. I don't know how they determine if they get one or not. I really would like a WSL player of the month to see if there is any decent ones out there. But realistically, we're going to go with the same fallout of a lot of these. Mbappe's got over a week now left. 3.34 mil. So if you're looking for coins, head over to eldorado.gg. There is huge amounts of verified sellers on Eldorado, and there is a money back guaranteed by TradeShield. If that's not enough, there is 24/7 live support and also plenty of reviews across websites that will definitely put your mind at ease. And as always, before you check out, make sure that you are using the code JT11 for 5% off every single order. Back to the video. For me, he's just still too expensive at this point. We haven't had League SBCs. I don't think it would even matter at this point. He is pretty much just for the expensive players only. Like if you're buying packs, all that jazz, that's probably the only way that you'd get him done, unless you are insanely lucky in the game. And there's insanely lucky, and then there's Mbappe. It just isn't possible. So for a lot of people, for I'd say at least 99.5% of people, you're probably just missing him. And to be honest, I think you've probably got more chance of packing him gold than actually completing that SBC. Like I just think genuinely, the amount of packs you'd have to open, you've probably got enough points to be able to get in coins the value of him back already. So that's number one. And just as a little price check, I want to see what the gold's at. 2 million coins already is absolutely nuts. I do think that he will drop. Probably not much more, but he's definitely still on that real bad drop right there. 4.2 all the way down. And to be honest, I think the big thing in this game, the variety is absolutely outstanding. You can use so many players. Like he is a cheat code. You come up against a Vinny, an Mbappe, a Dembele. They are on a new level. Like genuinely, they are just absolutely nuts in this game. We then move on to the second most expensive, and one that I think is again a very questionable choice. I think he is grindable to some extent, and that is going to be our boy Erlen. 602,000 coins. Again, he's a great card. He's a stunning card. But when his gold now is 44,000 with the low driven, I do like both playstyle pluses. Low driven as a shot, very OP if you get it in the right shot, in the right space. And Enforcer plus is another fantastic one. I personally would say either go with Erling Haaland as his low driven, or go with Gyökeres for his Enforcer plus. Will save you so much money. Like Gyökeres is coming in, what are we looking at? 57,000. At this point in the game, just go with that. It's so much easier in my opinion. I think they did get the pricing wrong for when he when he first came out. It's probably about right. They don't want everybody with these Haalands. Like, if you've obviously opened packs, if you've managed to get lucky, you might have one or two already. But realistically, they don't want everybody with Haaland, because it really does make that circle that little bit more. And we do have some Prem strikers that could really rock that boat. With the rest of them, to be honest, like you've got the likes of Tauvin coming in, 18,000 coins. I don't think that's bad. I don't think he's a must-complete player, but it's not bad to say if you're going to try and get a gauntlet team together, you're trying to save up for like the season pass when it goes into France for objectives. He's going to be decent value that I'd throw in just as an off chance. There's always a chance that he becomes something semi-decent. We then also have Kane coming in at 168. We have Pulisic at 270. And we have the Liga Ref Player of the Month at 54. Again, I do think when you look at kind of like spreading your team across gauntlets, across different objectives, not bad value. 50,000, a little bit more expensive than kind of like some of your foundations, more so than anything. But in terms of kind of just getting your team up with a few extra cards, I don't think it's awful. Now, Kane and Pulisic coming in as that middle sort of rating. I do think Kane's a nice card. I don't think he's necessarily as crazy as you'd want him to be right now. You've got the difference between his 89 that's got finesse and the low driven. I've actually been much preferring low driven at the moment, but both are as equal in terms of effectiveness when it comes to in and around the box. If you utilize both of these on a plus level or even without the plus, you're definitely going to get more on the low driven, I find. So having the finesse is going to be great. The main difference with Kane on this one personally is going to be the 8 pace. It's a massive thing with him. He needs more pace, and he's finally got it again. We do get a little bit more from his inform, and his inform's only 96 as well with the finesse instead of low driven. I'd say it's okay value for him. I don't know if I'd quite go decent. I think he's a good card. Or would you go 168? I mean, it's not what SBCs we actually got, because there's only 3. I was going to say, I knew there weren't loads. 85, 86, 87. I mean, grindable for the month. That's what you've got to kind of think of with these SBCs. It's not like you've got a week or 2 weeks. It's a whole month to grind 3 SBCs out. Maybe we're being a bit harsh. Maybe I'd go into the decent. I don't know if I'd quite go into the must complete. I don't think he's quite that level. I do think Pulisic is up there though. 270, bit more expensive, but the card is absolutely phenomenal. Cam, right wing, striker, got rolls across the board, decent playstyles, quick step, incisive, low driven. He's got everything you kind of need. He's got a little bit more rolls compared to the first card, but the upgrade and just the stats across are very, very good for a Serie A team. You throw what they say in finisher on him, which is fairs to be honest. You've got yourself a 91 overall winger, if you can even see that. 91 overall with them stats. I mean, they are a very, very nice card. I personally would say he would be in one of my more favoured cards going into this. I'd say he'd be looking up there. I really would. If you're going to do one, if you're going to pick an SBC, you're not doing heroes or anything like that, that would be one that I would be considering 100% of the time. And if we want to go and throw in another one, because I do think he is most definitely not talked about as much. It's not quite João Pedro. We will get onto him. Mateta is an absolute monster. For a cheap rated card, at 85 rated, I think he is absolutely wonderful as a striker. I've seen multiple people say he's really good for the value. 25,000 coins is absolutely a steal. 83, 87, 90 on the physical. He's obviously going to come in with the lengthy chemistry, the lengthy acceleration type. He's an absolute must in my opinion. You go with the Hunter on him, he is just absolutely wicked. 25,000 as well. For a starter striker, for a gauntlet striker, absolute must. Every day of the week. And we might as well circle into him. Pedro, now again another card that I do think in terms of a striker capability, he is going to be up there. He's going to be like Kolomawane eventually when we get upgrades for him or even an evolution. They're going to be that B tier below Gyökeres, below not Kane, Haaland and also Isaac, but they're going to be right up there and I think Pedro's card is brilliant. Now the big thing with the SBC is the fact that we did get a nice evolution with him. So it's a bit of a shame. You do have to utilize this evolution. So, I mean, you do have to kind of go away from maybe a Rashford with it. But the Born to Shine evolution for him is very, very nice. And it puts him within contention. Honestly, if Footbin asked me to verify one more time, I'm going to go off this site. We have got the 84. And look at the stats difference. So we paid 25,000 for this card. I don't know. I'll have a look at the value of actually João Pedro. It might have gone up a little bit. But you've got 100,000 SBC. Granted, you don't have to spend any coins with it. But 100,000 nonetheless. Versus potentially, what, 30 to max. He's not going to be 5. Well, let's have a look. He's not going to be 5. Yeah, 400 coins. He was maybe up there with a value at the very start. He's dropped down since. And most definitely, it's a very interesting card because there's not that much wiggle room compared. So you do look at him here. You've obviously got the 86. 2 extra shooting he's got. 3 passing, 3 dribbling, and lost 3 physical. I don't really care about defending too much. You look at the stats difference. He's lost 1 composure, which is barely anything. It's an interesting 75k... what is it called? The difference. I thought I was going to sound smart there, but... just go back to roots. It's a little bit less. Now, obviously with João Pedro, there's no playstyle plus on him, so you've kind of got that. He does miss out on the finesse. He gets first touch with obviously the evolution, and he's got low driven rapid. He's got rapid on both, and he's got power shot. So arguably, you've got still equally good playstyles. You've got a running, a shooting, and a first touch. I mean, that's perfect, more than enough you'd need. You'd throw the Hunter on him as always, 91-87. I just think... if you think you're going to start him, the only thing you don't get is obviously the dynamic. Is what it is. I can make him into a ratings refresh if I really want. But in terms of the 84, it really puts into question what you'd rather do. Now, the only thing saving this SBC is if you do go into the Born to Shine, it's an absolute must for Rashford. He's the one I did. He's outrageous. He's brilliant. So you would have to miss out on him if you wanted to do Pedro instead. So having both, you would have to do the SBC. I don't think it's bad. I think he's a good card. I do think if you're doing the evolution, potentially miss. If obviously not, you get the dynamic with him. He's a good striker. Mateta's definitely value for money here, but I would definitely say you'd be looking at him more so than anything. We obviously then have a few more of the foundations, a lot of them coming in relatively cheap. You've got 5k over here, you've got 28k for Benrahma, a little bit more expensive, and then you've obviously got Hendry coming in at 8,000. They're always going to be solid values. Whether they're going to be utilised is a different question. I'd say Benrahma, you'd probably say decent still. For what, 35k combined to get some foundations in there, different leagues, maybe just a bit of Gauntlet, or even potentially an Evolution or an SBC later on down the line for cards that you've got untradeable that are duplicate that you need to get rid of. It's just one of them with the foundations. They eventually get left in the dust, but if you are building a team around Saudi, you've got a few players there. NWSL, again, you've got Striker, so whether she's going to be utilised over some of them, because they do have some good players in the NWSL, then maybe you could question, but realistically, the value's there. It's a solid value for card. Then, obviously, we go into some of the rate and refresh. Now, a big thing they like to do this year is a massive amount of duo picks. We have got, in fact, if we get rid of the NWSL Cam, which again comes in quite nice, 23,000, pretty decent, good stats across the board, 4-star, 4-star, going to be more a Gauntlet, potentially NWSL team, more so than anything, but you'll get some of that. I think what we'll do is we'll throw some of the players that are just going to be purely on price. It's not going to be that you're going to potentially use them. I would personally be looking somewhere like that. Like, these are the players that you realistically are going to use. These are just great value for what you can actually get. Then obviously we have got the player picks. So we've got 3 of them, which is just nuts. It's clearly their new thing that they like to do. We have a new hero. We have a duos 2 and 3 pick. Now, obviously with the 2 pick, we obviously then have not Adrisigue. We have, or is it? No, it's changed, isn't he? Where are we going? Pape. Okay, I mean, I nearly got there. But in terms of the 2 of them, you got a centre mid versus a centre back. Both of them solid value. I think in terms of price, 25,000, it's not going to be terrible. Now, in their respective positions, I don't know if I'd say any of them would truly make a team. They could definitely make a Gauntlet, both being in major leagues, but realistically, I'd say they're kind of in that sort of B sort of category. Whereas I think the 3rd pick that we got between Dean from Real Madrid and Calafiori are definitely contenders to be in a team. Calafiori most definitely more so than anything. Left backs in the Prem, Arsenal team, Italian left backs. You've only really got DeMarco to go against. There's very few fullbacks that truly make it. Whereas with Dean, he's going to come in, and unfortunately, it's one of them ones where you've got Militao, Arejo, Koyunde, Rudiger. There's a lot of centre-backs that could throw in. Now, obviously, if you've done Gula, if you want a guaranteed Real Madrid card in there, he's absolutely there for you. And then we have the heroes. Now, we did get a few of them. There is Forlan, there is Cole, there is Lizarazu. 3 solid heroes, in my opinion. You've got Cole coming in now at 161. You've got Forlan, who was the most expensive, at 167. And then you do have Lizarazu, who is in that middle value, who is now coming in at 175. I personally think Lizarazu, for me, is the player that you'd go for, especially if you've got a striker and a right wing already. They would be the positions that you've probably looked at and thought, I need to upgrade them first. I've got Yamal from an untradeable reward, and I've got Gyökeres that are purchased. And then left back, I've got Baude at the minute, for chemistry reasons mainly. But Lizarazu comes in and stays there for quite some time. Forlan might be moved around quite quickly. Cole, again, will be moved around quite quickly as well. So I think for me, in terms of if I'm being out of striker and right wing bias, I'd say Lizarazu would be the one to go for in this. Now, SBC price is coming in at 181. Expected it to be a little bit more expensive, but I do think from a starter team, if you can rack up them coins, it's a solid base hero. It's a really good base hero this time. We've had moderate heroes in the previous two, but this time round I think is most definitely there. Well worth the money. You should now, if you've grinded all 3 of them, got 3 heroes in the team that can really help that chemistry bonus. So that's going to be it for today. Let me know down below what you think about the SBCs. Hopefully we keep ramping up. It seems like they're slowly getting up there with the players, and we can kind of see where that next power curve really comes in, as I've seen a lot of the same teams recently, and I can imagine EA are going to do something really good to be able to upgrade even more. So let me know down below what you think, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.